Hello everyone. So in the last video we learned how to write multiline text in our magic card according to the text coordinates. And we also saw that the original font size we were using, that was 18, was too big. And we also verified that the 13 in this case is the optimal size. So in this video, we're going to see how to discover this value automatically and integrate this to a function that will automatically write the text in the proper size. So in order to find the proper font size, we need to know the text height. We already know how to measure the text width, but this time we need to know the multiline text height, so we can see whether the text will fit in the height or not. Since this time here, we can see that it overflows in the y coordinate and not in the x coordinate. So let's start by creating a function get multiline text height, the multiline text, and then font. Let's create a draw object, image draw.draw, image.new. In order to measure the size of something here in Pillow, we need to use a reference image. So let's just create a empty image here. So the function we're going to use to measure the text, multiline text height, is called text bbox, that is bounding box. So it will return the coordinates of the bounding box that the actual multiline text is occupying. So let's get this bounding box coordinates. So draw dot multiline text bbox, and then here we pass the coordinates. You can pass 0, 0, it doesn't matter. The text that we're measuring, that is our multiline text, and the font we are using. Okay, so these coordinates will be the x1, y1, and x2, y2. So these two extremes here from the rectangle. But what we want is the height of the bounding box. So we need to subtract the y2 here by the y1. So multiline text height will be the text 3, that it represents the y2 coordinate here in the index 3 of the bounding box list, and then we will subtract the x1, that is in the first node, the index 1 from this list here. So now we go to return multiline text height. Okay, so let's test whether this function is working properly. So load in, here we need to do it, and then join, load and wrapped. Let's go here with the test font. Okay, so it is returning a value here, so it's probably working. So if we go here and test this Latin font instead of text font, let's see the size we got, and 124. So if you go here, increase this to 13, it will overflow. And let's check the size now, is 146. So if you go up here and see the height of this rectangle, it is 135. So the text need to be less than 135 in height. So we can see that 14, as we saw, overflows, and it's bigger than 135. And if you go 13 here, it will be less than 135. So it's the same thing that we detect visually, we can detect now with this function. So now let's use this function to get these coordinates automatically, not coordinate these parameters. So let's go with fitting, get fitting text and font. Since the font size will be in function of the available height, our function need to return the text, that is the wrapped text, and the font size for us. So this, because these values, these two parameters are tightly coupled, since the wrapped text is in function of the font size, and also the text height is in function of the font size and the wrapped text. So that is because that's why we need to get these two values in the same way, at the same time. So let's go with text and then max width. This time max height also. And then here we used to pass the font object created, but since the value of the font size will be dynamically discovered by this function, we are going just pass the font file, that is the TTF we used to use. So we also use a parameter called min font size, that is the minimum font size we will accept. In case the font size reaches this value, it will return this value, it will not shrink anymore. And also the max, the max font size, that is the opposite. It will start from this max font size and start to shrink until it finds the minimum font size or a font size that fits perfectly the available width and height. So here we need to iterate for different values of font size in order to find the optimal one. So font size in range. And here we are going to start from the max font size, and start to shrink our text. Since if we start the other way around, in case we find, we will start with a minimum font size that fits, but it will have the same problem we had before with the wrapping text. In case the font size overflows, we will have to undo the actions in order to return to the previous font size. So in order to avoid this, we are going to start with the max font size and goes towards the minimum font size. So font size, and then minimum font size, and every step we increase or decrease by 1. So let's create the font object with the current size, so the true type, font file, and then font size. Now with this font object, we are going to create our wrapped text. So wrap multiline text, font, and then the max width. Max width. And then with our multiline text, we're going to create it by joining the wrapped text. Okay, so now that we have our wrapped text, we can check its height. Get multiline text height, then multiline text, then font. Then in case the multiline text height overflows, not overflows. Once we find multiline text that is below the max height, that means it fits perfectly our text area. We will return. We stop our iteration and return. So we use break. So the max width we are treating here. So every wrap that is generated will be within the max width. But here we need to check the max height, and in case it fits, that is it is less than the max height, we will break, stop the iteration. And then we will return the multiline text we generated here, already joined, and also the font. That includes the font size. Okay, so now let's check whether our function is working. Get fitting text and font, lowering text area width, text area height, and then let's break this in different lines here. Text area height, and then the font file, assets, fonts, text.ttf. Now we pass the minimum font size. We use 8, and the max font size we're going to use 20. Okay, so let's check it. Okay, so since that our function is working properly, and we can now use it to automatically write the text within our text area in the proper size. So that will be the subject of our next video: how to take this function and create another function to write the text, the multiline text within our card. So I see you there. Bye bye.